Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play DuckTales Remastered. The last one went to the Amazon, now it's time for us to choose our second of the main stages, which is Transylvania, plain and simple.
Pack your bags, boys. We're off to Transylvania, and we're no coming back without the coin of the lost realm. This is it, kids. Draculesti Manor, home of the legendary Drake von Vladstone, heir to the coin of the lost realm.
Boy, it's kind of creepy out here, isn't it? Uncle Scrooge, we're not gonna break into this guy's house, are we?
Of course not, Louis. This castle has been abandoned for centuries.
Hey, look at this. The Junior Woodchuck guidebook says Drake von Vladstone was best known by his nickname, Count Dracula Duck. Is there really a monster in there, Uncle Scrooge? Don't be silly, Webby. Yeah, there's no such thing as Dracula. Right. He is right, isn't he, Uncle Scrooge?
Of course he is, Louis. Vampires, banshees, and mischievous spirits are just a lot of superstitious hocus-pocus. But you better stick close to me, just in case. Now you boys stay put and keep an eye on wee Webbydale. I'll be back with the treasure in no time.
Aw, nuts. We want to come with you, Uncle Scrooge.
Don't worry. I'll be back with the coin before you can say E pluribus unum.
E purple bus who'um? Yeah, I'm not sure that's as fast as you think it is. Besides, why should we have to stay here just because Webby's a big chicken? Yeah, we're not afraid of whatever's hiding out there, are we? You boys are so mean. I'll show you who's not afraid of the dark. Wait, Webby! Oh no!
Huey, Dewey, Louie!
Will they be all right, Uncle Scrooge?
Of course. Everything will be fine, my darling. Wait here and I'll be back with the lads lickety-split.
And thus it's time for my favorite level, aesthetically at least. I've always liked haunted mansion-themed levels. I don't know why. And this is what I took on first in the original LP because, well, if you might recall, as I mentioned last part, in the original game, health extensions were only available here in Transylvania and the Himalayas, I believe, off the top of my head. Whereas, since we're playing on easier medium, they're available on every stage this time around, so no real reason not to just go down the list. Now, last part, and the part before that, obviously, I mentioned that you need money only to unlock things in the gallery. In between parts, I actually tallied everything up for that. In the gallery, there are 7 categories, which are characters, concept art, sketches, pencil renders, background paintings, music, TV show art 1 and 2. The characters, which is the one you have to start, has 21 items that total out to around 5,235,000 in it. I should note that some of my numbers might be a bit off, just because I counted wrong, maybe. Concept art is unlocked after spending 4 million, has 21 items, and costs in total around, I think, 5.4 million. Sketches is unlocked after spending 6,500,000, which I should note, that's a net total spent, not like on the previous amounts or anything, it's just in general. Sketches has 17 items worth around 4.675 million. Pencil renders is unlocked after spending 10 million, has 15 items that are worth around 4.41 million. Background paintings is unlocked after 12,500,000 and has 20 items worth around 6.9 million. Music is unlocked after spending 17,500,000, has 22 items worth about 10,520,000. TV show art 1 is unlocked after spending 24 million, has 20 items worth around 12,485,000. TV show art 2 is unlocked after spending 32,500,000, has 20 items and has around 17,895,000 worth of stuff in there. That comes out to about 142 items and that are worth about 67,520,000. That's a good amount of playthroughs. The best way to get all that money? Play on extreme mode.
Hey, Uncle Scrooge, get me down from here. here.
Before I continue on that topic, though, we got mini boss. This jump on this, obviously not a ghost 3 times, and you're good. No matter what you do here, you'll always find Huey, by the way.
Yo! I'm out of here.
Hey, that wasn't a ghost at all. It was a beagle boy in disguise.
Trying to beat me to my treasure, no doubt. But it'll take more than just an old bed sheet and flour dust to frighten off Scrooge McDuck.
Look, Uncle Scrooge, that beagle boy dropped something. It's an old piece of paper.
Twist me tartan, it's an ancient rune.
You mean like a magic spell?
Aye, lad, at least part of one.
Gee, I wonder who tore it into pieces.
We'll worry about that later. Right now, I want you to head to the front door and wait for me. I'll be back once I've found the treasure. Off you go, lad.
In terms of why you should play on extreme mode to get the money, first off, you get the difficulty modifier at its highest, meaning you get the most money just from playing levels on hard mode. But also, because cakes and a lot of health items are replaced with diamonds to begin with, you just get in general more money. Plus, you also have the hidden treasures each worth $1 million to begin with, so yeah. And if you want an easier way to do it as well beyond that, every time you are about to go into a level, go into the gallery and buy some things until there's a 7 somewhere in your score, because I think I learned it between parts. The cloud minigame to get money is gotten anytime there is just outright a 7 in your money somewhere. So, yeah, that's just really good to abuse that.
Uncle Scrooge, help!
And now we have to fight another one, only now there's an actual ghost enemy trying to annoy you. It's the exact same fight otherwise. And if you've done everything I have, it's always Dewey here.
Yeah, well, I guess you found me out. Oh, well. You guys got any lunch?
No!
Okay. You don't gotta be all touchy about it. See ya.
Aw, that guy gives me the heebie-jeebies. He was starting to look at me like I was lunch.
Well, next time he'll think twice before scrapping with Scrooge McDuck.
Speaking of scraps, he dropped this, Uncle Scrooge.
Ah, it looks like another piece of that torn-up sorcery.
Say what?
A magic spell. And it's nearly complete. Just one piece left to find. If only I knew where to start looking.
Well, that bungle boy did say this house has an illusion wall. Do you think he meant...
Of course, a secret passage. Oh, no wonder I've been having so much trouble finding anything around here. Good lad. Now, off you go. I need you to wait at the entrance with the others.
Not gonna tell him where the entrance is. Kind of a dick move there, Scrooge. Now, one thing I mentioned earlier, that yes, Huey's always where I found him and Dewey's always here. There's a reason for that. The characters aren't in set locations, even though the fights themselves are. You always rescue the 3 nephews in the order of Huey, Dewey, and Louie. Some playthroughs, Huey might be in the basement, sometimes Louie might be down there. It all depends on what order you go about things. Returning from the original DuckTales is the fact that you can now swat open these coffins. However, you don't always want to do that because sometimes there's ghosts in there. I believe for the most part they'll always contain diamonds. I don't think I've ever seen them drop an ice cream cone, but that is important to note. Now, I'm trying to remember one thing exactly about this level in terms of now versus the NES version in regards to a certain gimmick we're going to see later on, because I remember this area is more or less the same level design-wise in the NES version, even has the whole mirrors teleporting all over the place gimmick. And, in fact, for some reason, they actually have you come back here more than one time in the NES version. Once, I think, at the start of the African mines, and then once again at Endgame. Remastered, rather, changes that. We're only here the once. Also, you're going to see me hesitating a bit more than usual around here. That's just because this is the level I'm probably the least familiar with. And there's the hard extension for this stage. That is there no matter what difficulty you're playing on. So that's why if you're playing the game on hard mode or above, especially on your first time through, come to either Transylvania or the Himalayas first, because you'll always be able to get health extensions there. Also, I love the Transylvania remix. I'm not exactly sure... I say I'm not exactly sure, but it's more so I haven't quite decided to this day what my favorite track in the original DuckTales was. Because, yeah, the moon theme is great. That's legendary, even. But I've always felt there were better songs in the game, like Transylvania or The Amazon. Transylvania on the whole is definitely my favorite song in this soundtrack, though, at least out of the remixes. And now we're in the minecart section. Press down to duck to not get your face splatted into a wall, and jump appropriately to get either money or to reach another minecart and not fall to your death. It is very easy to die here, though, because when you're jumping from cart to cart, it doesn't apply momentum. You need to hold forward in order to move forward into another minecart. It has a bit of a Sonic Force syndrome going on there. However, on the whole, this isn't too bad at all. However, make sure you're paying attention, because otherwise, that might happen. I think that exact same trap was there in the NES version, so that was just me not paying attention. Damn it all. And now it's time for another one of these fights, only this time, there's 2 ghosts, oh no, I'm so scared, I'm really not. The ghosts are admittedly a bit more annoying than you'd think, because their wavy pattern is tight enough to the point where you might think you can go over them when they're going down.
Not so tough without your army helmet, eh?
Wait till the gang in Sing Sing finds out you were knocked flat by an old guy in his cane.
Thank you, lad.
Yeah? Well, you better be careful where you go poking around, McDuck, or you's gonna have much bigger problems than me. So long!
Now, what do you suppose he meant by that? It doesn't matter. Quick, lad, see if there's a scrap of paper lying about.
You mean like this one, Uncle Scrooge?
Exactly. This is the last piece of the riddle.
But what to do?
That's what I'm about to find out. Quick, lad, go meet Webby and the others at the entrance. And all of you, stay put.
But despite that, on the whole, the ghosts are very easy to avoid. And now we need to do another minecart section. I do believe this is actually the only way you can get out of this area, so if you're going, when you go through whoever's in that 3rd slot, you need to go through this. But with all 3 of those papers collected, we can now head back to that giant mirror we saw earlier in order to head to the boss fight. However, there's quite a bit of level between us and there, so we need to show that. Plus, there's one other thing in this stage we've yet to see, and well, that'll be coming up. Now, something I actually don't really pay attention to when I'm playing the game much, because obviously I'm looking at Scrooge and what's around him, is that this game also has really gorgeous backgrounds. The parallax is great alone, but the colors used in them, as well as just the overall composition, is great. Jump again. And as we look down here, hey, it's Mrs. Beakley. I'll be talking to her in a moment. Now, something else that is in the game, but I forget if you have to beat the game to unlock it or not, or if you just have to buy it from the music menu. There's the original 8-bit soundtrack available in this game. I forget if you need to beat the game in order to play it, but you can certainly buy it from the music selection, I think no matter what. You just need to be able to unlock the music selection first. Which is nice, but it's kind of weird seeing this game with that soundtrack.
Mr. Bigley, is that you?
It most certainly is. Why, just look at all these cobwebs. This place could use a woman's touch.
Marvellous job, as usual, Mrs. Beakley.
Oh, why can't you take up golf like a normal tycoon?
That perseverance pays off again.
Well, to be fair, I am a duck. I'm not exactly your standard tycoon. Mind you, I say that, but the Disney universe doesn't really have humans, does it? Now, here we have the armor pieces. In fact, I will say, from here on in the level, until we get to the boss fight, I play kind of sloppily. That's on me, just because, for some reason, I was really thinking ahead and just was generally confused. That happens occasionally, unfortunately. Now, the knight suits themselves, if you swing your golf club, not your golf club, if you golf swing into them with your cane, either one of 2 things can happen. Their head will pop off and try to hurt you because you knocked the helmet off, it's going to hit you in the face. Or its head will turn into a treasure chest. You can either then jump on the treasure chest with your cane if you are able to, or in tinier corridors like this, you have to do another golf swing into the suit of armor itself, not the chest, in order to break it. There's a lot of money you can get here by doing this, but as you can see, I'm just generally acting like a dumbass. I think I was tired when I recorded this particular stage because this game took 2 days to record, almost 3 due to a certain thing in the PC version. I'll talk about that in the finale. But I was just not in the right mindset from this point on the stage. It happens occasionally, but it kind of sucks. I'm trying to think about one thing, though, and that's beyond the difficulty modifier, beyond the cloud minigame with the helicopter, what the actual best stage to get money is in no matter what difficulty you're playing on. I want to say it's either here in Transylvania or in the Amazon. Because those stages have good length to them and thus have a lot of treasure in them. Some of the other stages are quite a bit smaller in comparison. Also, the mummies have 2 ways you can take them out. You can either pogo into them outright, or you can actually use the random balls that are on the floor. That I think in the NES version they may have been tied to, but not so much here. Actually, no, I guess that's what that chain sound's supposed to do when they move. Huh. Say I noticed.
What's this? Part of the spell matches the inscriptions on this mirror. Luck of the ducks! I solved the riddle!
What riddle, Uncle Scrooge?
Boys, I thought I told you to stay with Webby.
They did stay with me, Uncle Scrooge. I'm right here. Oh, what a pretty mirror.
Aye, lass. And if I'm right, using this spell will reveal the foul perpetrator behind all these shenanigans. Magica dispel! Ach, I should have known you'd be behind this.
Oh, Scroogey, my old friend, you wouldn't believe how much fun it is watching you run around making a fool of yourself.
What?
Oh, you really don't think you need ancient sorcery to find coin of lost realm, do you? No, I had Beetle Boys hide paper scraps to throw you off trail.
Why, you sneaky, conniving...
Please, save compliments for garden party.
What garden party?
The one I will throw in celebration when I get home with lost coin. So long, fools!
Gee, she isn't very nice. You said it, Webby.
All right, you kids stay here. I'm going to track down that witch and give her a piece of my mind.
And now we finally get introduced to Magica as well as the way to the boss fight. This is the last appearance, actually, of June Foray as Magica Dispel. She died sometime in 2017. And not gonna lie, she was a great voice actor. She was essentially... I think someone went on quote saying that she's not the female Mel Blanc. Mel Blanc is the male June Foray, which... honestly, pretty accurate. In the current show where she's about to show up, at least in the time recording, she's voiced by Catherine Tate. An interesting Doctor Who reunion, by the way, because Scrooge being voiced by the 10th Doctor himself, David Tennant. Donna Noble and 10 reunited once again. Only this time she remembers him.
Scrooge, why must you always meddle? That coin is mine!
Magica's probably my favorite boss fight in the game. She starts off by going in the back, in which case she will use a fire attack to start usually. Whenever it's a fire attack, she has 2 varieties. One's that fire horizontally, in which case you need to either jump on or step on or pogo off of the rock blocks. And then some vertical ones, at which point she'll just occasionally teleport around and you have to jump on her. She also has a mirror attack where she sends 6 mirrors to go into the center of the room, and she's in one of them, jump on it to stun her, on the one she's in to stun her, and then you can damage her. She can also transform into a bird, in which case she'll dive down at you. When you attack her, though, and she respawns in either one of the corners, she will throw that little tri-beam laser attack, so you need to be ready to jump. I was not ready. The farther you go into this fight, the more she adds onto her attacks, like more vertical or horizontal fire bars. I think her bird form gets a bit faster, and I think the mirrors might move a bit faster. No, the mirrors start to swap around, that's what it is. But there's a lot going on in this fight, but I really, really love this fight. It's a nice little detail, though, that they got all the original DuckTales, or at least all the surviving DuckTales cast members back for this. I think this may have also been Alan Young's last time voicing Scrooge. And that's a shame, too, because he was a really good Scrooge. David Tennant's shaping up to be a fantastic, pardon the accidental Doctor Who thing there, successor to him, but it's just one of those voices you hear from childhood, and when you don't hear it, you're like, wait, what? I cut this fight a bit close, too, as you can see, but thankfully 15 shots, I think it is. No, 12, 15 counting the mirrors, and he can.
These inferior mirror and beam spells. It's the last time I shop for spell ingredients at discount store. You haven't seen Wrath of Magica the spell. You may have Coin of Lost Realm, but your number one dime will soon be mine.
And that's Transylvania. I actually still really love this stage, be it the aesthetics or just the design. There's a lot of fun stuff going on in that one. And after we tally up our money, by the way, I'm very inconsistent about skipping the money counting up. That is this part done. If you can't tell how this LP is formatted compared to the original DuckTales, due to the added cutscenes and subquests to do in every stage, more or less every level is its own part. Hey, about a sixth of the way to the full gallery.
Do you think Magica will keep out of our way now, Uncle Scrooge?
It's hard to say, lad. Folks like her have a way of popping up at the most inconvenient moments.
Well, when it comes to Magica, there's no such thing as a convenient moment.
Too true, Louis. Now then, where to next, lads?
Now, before I end this off, I just remembered to mention this. You may have noticed back when we first got a money count up back in part 1 that I already had some money in the bank. That's because even if you restart your save file on the PC version, your money count stays with you. So I had around maybe 6 million from my prior playthrough. So now it's just growing from there. I believe on the console versions, each individual save file has its own money count. But for here on the PC version where there's only one save file, they just kind of keep it universal. But with that, I'm going to need to end this off here. Thank you guys for watching, and in part 4, we're heading down to the next stage on the list, which if I recall correctly is the African Mines. See you guys then.